Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Two Clicks from KO. As always, I am Aries Edge, and with me, the Dale Strawberry to my Doc Gooden, two cokeheads that played for the Mets, Aaron Cantu. I've listened to a lot of crime and sports lately. I apologize, but they're inseparable.
It's true. They're like joined at the hip.
And speaking of inseparable, we are also here today with two players who, if you go to one venue and you see one of them, the other one's not too far away. One of them loves the Quinjet. The other one hates the title Batgirl for reasons that we will not speak of on this podcast. One allegedly builds his teams specifically just to beat others, and one just goes to battle royals just to make money. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Steve DiCarlo and Tony Rodriguez. Hold it down.
That was good. That was good.
Jesus.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, that's quite the resume, I guess.
It's very accurate as well.
That's true.
That was great.
I don't know,
Did you
Steve.
this year, Tony? Did you
What's
play
up?
the main event this year?
No, I didn't play in the main event.
No, but you smashed a bunch of battle royals, didn't you?
This is true. Yes.
Yes, exactly. So it's pretty accurate. Him and
Yeah,
Paul,
no, it's definitely accurate. I was qualified, but I'd rather make the money.
Yeah.
and there you go.
I mean,
Heard it here first. You
it's
can
not a
make
bad strategy.
you can make a trip to the East Coast as long as you play really well in battle royals.
There you go.
True.
So what's going on, guys? How are you? How's your day? How's your week? Long time no see.
Yeah, right. Pretty good, man. Just cleaning.
Cleaning? Nice.
Yeah.
Aries, how's your week?
It's been fantastic.
That's,
I've only been struck twice this week by my.
that's
yeah.
That's a good week.
It's only twice, yeah.
That's a good week.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a good week. He's on vacation next week, so maybe it's a
Even
little
better.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I'm dealing with a tire blowout on my girlfriend's car, but otherwise we're doing all right.
We just can't have a week without someone dying or tires blowing out or getting beat up by a special needs guy.
I thought it was funny because your tire just blew out like a couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago,
what the fuck?
literally pulled just the biggest screw you could find right out of the middle of it.
Sweet. Well, what's really bad is I just replaced these tires last year, so it's like,
Nice.
what the fuck, man? Anyway, we're not here to talk about tires or cars or people getting hit. Well, maybe some people getting hit, but we're here to talk about Hero Clix. We got Steve and Tony. Steve and Tony just joined me in playing at the California State Championship for the Pauper for Realms Open Championship events, and we had a lot of fun. That was one of the more fun events I've been to. I don't think it being Pauper was a direct reason, but it maybe had something to do with it. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about actually a lot of that. WizKids updated their skirmish rules today. I don't know if you guys saw that. I know Aries did.
Skirmish.
Tony's like, "What's the skirmish?"
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah.
We'll touch on it. Very small, but
Aries sends me the link. I was like, yeah, I saw it. I scrolled past it.
I was like, "You don't have any interest in it?" He's like, "No, not one bit." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm glad WizKids is listening to us and wanting to implement new play styles." But hey, whatever.
I read the rules. I'm like, for it being a fast, like supposed to be fun, like quick setup game, there's a shitload of rules.
Yeah.
Like a lot. It's like, oh, okay, you can have one colossal on your force if you have this many players. If you have this many players, you have this many colossals. You can stop damage on these certain turns, but not this kind of damage. But now you can stop this kind of damage. It's like, what else? Oh, now you can put your special objects within 2 squares. But then at the beginning of the game, you can equip one to a character. But if you have a character with like a wielder trait, that doesn't count towards that. Let's see. There's gonna be an active ban list. I'm pretty sure. I'm like, dude, that's way too much.
I'm excited to never play that.
Like I'd rather. I mean,
It's
I'll
still
try,
in the beta. It's still in the beta.
I'll try it, but I'd rather play HeroClix.
This just in, Aaron be sucking dick at the truck stop over there in Sacramento for tires here soon. Swing by, put the money in first, then bang on the hole.
I just might. I gotta. I mean, I don't know why I would drive 3 hours to do that, but There's some pretty sketchy places in Fresno I could do that if I wanted to get it done.
It's true.
Tony and Steve have seen
Fresno's,
We've seen it.
it. Joe Rogan called Fresno sketchy on his podcast last week.
That says a lot then, if he's calling it sketchy.
Yeah. But he did say that you should come visit the restaurant downtown. He was like, it's phenomenal. Anyway, back to HeroClix. Yeah, Skirmish. I don't know, man. What do you think? Have you tried it? I know these two.
I got a map. I went to my store today. I went to my store today to make sure that everything came in for states, and it did. And included was the new Octagon Battle Royal / Skirmish map. So it is something that I'm going to play around with and kind of play test a little bit with, just to see if it's something worth giving some feedback to Kenny and them about at WizKids to make it a little smoother, or if it's just something like, hey man, there's way too many moving parts. We have to simplify this down a little more. So I'm gonna try it.
The placement's totally random, right? Like you roll to see where you place the characters.
Yes, it's 1 through 100. I think you roll. I don't even know which dice you roll or anything like that. I have to look all that up. But yes, you place markers. Each person rolls. You place markers. Whoever player 1 is gets to choose a spot, I believe, on the map until you go around until all spots are filled.
Yeah.
Then you start off basically right there in the fight.
Yeah, you roll and go, these are the starting squares we can choose from. I'll choose this one. You choose that one. You choose that one. You choose that one. I choose this one. Like that.
And then once your whole force is built,
literally use the old maps. The old little Teen Titan maps. Use the old little Teen Titan maps that are like 8 squares long. Then if you want the battle to be,
they cut them to like 100 squares. So
they're gonna be battle royal maps.
Yeah,
they're gonna be battle royal sized. Yeah. So the one I got is a battle royal map with skirmish also on the map as well. It can be played both ways.
Right.
And it's only 200 points, I believe.
Sounds
not even. So you're not even building like a huge 300-point team.
I don't know if we got one. I don't remember if we ordered one or not. Because you had to pay extra for that, right?
I made sure my store scooped me up one.
I don't think we did, but if we did, it would just stay at the store, and I didn't see it. So I think I don't know. We won't play it here probably. Maybe like as a side event at like some other big event, maybe. But otherwise, we probably wouldn't play it here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good. I'm gonna be honest. It's a very nice battle royal map. A lot of different terrains, things like that. I picked it up just for a nice battle royal map. It's neoprene, so that's
so
nice
great for Tony.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. It's right up Tony's alley. He's like, what can I scalp off of this table here? Oh, there we go.
Sounds good.
I wonder if like WizKids will use that at their next big event, like as that'll be one of the maps they use, or if they'll just leave it like separate with the rock and they'll just keep making their own maps. So like the next WKOs I think are in February, right?
Yep.
So like, what if they just sent like a paper version of that? That'd be pretty funny.
That'd be awesome.
I'd be like, all these sucker stores pay for this map, and then we got it in the paper form with the WKO kits.
Still got to pay for it though, because you still have to buy the Battle Royal kit to get Battle Royal maps.
That's much more profitable.
Absolutely, 100%. I just wanted the map personally. I paid for it.
Yeah, a Battle Royale kit is like $40.
They're each, I think, like 50. It's 50 for a normal WizKids Open event, and I think it's 50 for a Battle Royal event, because you're also getting just as many LEs and things like that for the Battle Royal itself. So it's worth it. 1 Battle Royal, 2 Battle Royals might pay for your kit, so it's worth it.
All right, well, since we're on the subject of maps, we do have a question about maps from Jonah, and so I want to get these two knuckleheads involved in the conversation, so because who cares about skirmish as far as they're concerned. Jonah says, how do you feel about the rock maps being OP and having such an impact on games?
Ooh, that's a good.
So I rate like when I get eliminated inevitably at the big tournaments, I do like commentary on the games, and like doing commentary for games that were involving King's Tomb was the most boring thing on earth, because like the first 6 turns for each player is just trying to get to each other. Like King's Tomb is just like a cancer to the game. And then they had to ban Hanging Island outright because of the placement of the special terrain. And then one of the new maps, it was the same thing where like if you put They said you
The
can't.
church, right?
Yeah. It was like the same thing where like you have to have phasing to get to like the second elevation because you can block off the doorway. So like they're I don't think they're doing like I think WizKids probably test their maps. I'm not sure Rock does. Like too many of these maps are just freaking like too much indoor blocking that you can just block off really easy. They've been horrible.
I think the thing is too, and like you'll see every time there's a thing where a map's posted, I'm like, stop making indoor maps. You don't know what you're doing. Like you don't even have to test them to know how broken they are if you know how to play the game. All you have to do is look at it and go, oh, if I block that, nobody can get here. You don't even need a test played game. Like you just need
You can just and
you need competent players like Easton, whose father owns the Rock, whose father is a world champion, to like look at the map and go like, oh, this map's busted. Let's change.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and people, I don't know what it is, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. People were kind of giving WizKids some crap because the WWE maps don't have certain terrains like elevated or things like that, and I am okay with that. It seems like every single Rock map that comes out, they try and jam 6 different terrains on there.
Yeah.
And it's like it's too cluttered. It's too busy. Some of their best maps are the most simplest maps.
Right. Exactly. Having elevated on WWE makes zero sense anyways. These are guys that are not leap climbing over shit and flying. They're normal dudes in tights.
If you're going attitude era, some Hardy Boys are jumping off some shit. So
have
a little section of elevated terrain, maybe
like the entrance way or whatever. But
they could have done like a wrestling ring where the corner posts are like elevation 2, and then maybe like the stands on the outside are like elevation 2 or 3 if they really wanted to. But
or even just the ring is elevation 2 because it is above like what the actual floor line is. But regardless of that, they made it as simple as possible to gain more people to play it. It seems like the Rock, they're trying real hard to be like, look how diverse our maps are and this and that. And it's not needed. There's too much going on with your maps, especially now that like 3 of the newer released ones have issues with them. The church has issues. The Hanging Island has issues. The
like if
King's
you go
Tomb
back
map
to
is horrible.
If you go back to like Crossfire Canyon, right? That was on everybody's map list for a long time. Mm-hmm. And that has no blocking. It has very little hindering. It has 2 elevations. One's in the middle. It's literally a canyon, and then you have 2 on the other. Like it's a simple map. It's very effective. It's good for certain types of teams. It's bad for certain types of teams. It's balanced. King's Tomb, as an example. Well, I like to use the example of was it the underground map?
That map.
Oh, like that map. So that map was like really oppressive, and it was super hard to get. King's Tomb is like a little bit more accessible, so like at least the normal player has a chance to get it, right?
Yeah.
But like when I gotta pay like $200 for Rock Underground, right? Yeah. Because it was only given out at one event and only to certain people, and then it's super oppressive. It's like that's when you have a problem.
But here's the difference between them too, though, is you have the Rock Underground map, and then you have the very similar Star Trek map that's underground, and that one's done correctly. It's not super oppressive, and it gets across the point of being underground, while the Rock one is just it's over the top.
Yeah. The thing about King's Tomb that I hate is like, so when we did the team sealed event, like we have a friend that like isn't quite so good at Hero Clix, and like we were thinking that like, oh, if he wins map, just play King's Tomb because you can suck and you still there's no way they can get to you for like several turns on that map. So it's an undying piece in itself that if you're not good, just go to King's Tomb, and now you at least know that no matter how good the other player is, there's a decent chance that they're not getting to you for several minutes.
Yeah, especially when you have like different elevations and walls on those elevations. It's just, oh my god.
You want like a really stupid Pauper team, right? So you go like, oh, okay, I'll do both Danger Room constructs. I'll do Onslaught. I'll do a corrupt GCPD cop. And we'll just play on King's Tomb if I win that.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like you never like you have to kill Onslaught because you're never gonna work through those other figures. You're just not. And it's
I
like,
was thinking about doing Nimrod with the 2 Danger Room guys and just be like, okay, Nimrod's just gonna phase around and hide the whole game, and maybe I'll kill one thing and win on 20-0 and shit. Like that shouldn't be a strategy. The map shouldn't be like the reason a certain team is like that good.
But that's why we're also seeing the influx in theme teams. People legitimately will spam, and I've said this I've said this before on other podcasts. What we've done is people will spam an Avengers team or a Cosmic team to +8 to get the map that they want, just to be able to have that strategy. I'm going to pick something off, and then I'm going to kind of, run across the map and make you have to, jump through chutes and ladders to get to me.
Yeah.
So that being said, I don't think the statement that a map should not win the game for you is necessarily true. I do think to a degree it should have an impact. But
not
like
that big one.
But like Adam Friedman will always say, maps are the most broken thing in HeroClix because they cost you 0 points. Well, locations now 5, but they cost you 0 points essentially, and they will outright win or lose certain games for you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I personally, I think if they just went back to their old design philosophy with like Crossfire Canyon, that'd be fine. But like, stay away from like Blue Line and Rock Underground and Kingston.
Well, look at like the Hedge Maze map.
That's the one you
Blue
don't
Line
like.
is my least favorite map in HeroClix.
You know what the biggest thing about Blue Line is? I can't see the damn walls.
That's why.
I just can't see it.
I'm blind, so like that stuff, it drives me crazy. That like I'll always set up a move and they'll be like, oh, that's a wall or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, but again,
the
they can make really good maps. Look at something like Hedge Maze.
Yeah,
Hedge Maze
the new Mr. Chomp Swamp is
Mr.
like
Chomp
cool.
Swamp is
Like
good.
that's a cool team or a cool map for like King Shark or Flora or whatever. But it's like not like broken good. It's just good.
You know the difference about that map though is a player made it.
Right.
Yeah.
But what's the other one? They made the other one too, where it's like it's an outdoor map. It's got the one little gully. It's like, so everything's level 2, and then you can go down into that hole for level 1.
Oh,
But
the
that
old last year's States map or whatever, right?
I forget which one it is. I'll have to pull it up. But
I
it's like
think it's last year's States
I know what you're talking about.
because
I
it's
can't think
the
of
majority of the
name
maps
it.
like pink and shit.
Yeah.
That we have, and there's like
no,
the
it's like
crystal.
it's an outdoor map. It's green. It's got a little it's like on like a farm kind of. It's not Dan Powell farm.
I know
It's
what you're
something that's
talking about. I don't
similar.
remember the name
It's
of
got
it.
blocking. It's got that one little hole, and it's got some hindering and stuff, and that's really it. And it's very simple, but it's also very effective.
We can go to hcmaps.net and view every map.
Yeah, that's why
Clay,
here.
Clay does a phenomenal job of putting.
Yeah,
these
he was
maps.
great.
And in fact, I do believe the Rock should send him maps for free, which they currently don't. Which I think,
especially because like his map app thing is also like what makes Roll20
Rock Online, yeah.
Because like that's how I'm able to like use all the maps. Is I just screenshot that and then copy it over. Like that's what makes that. Yeah, that's what makes like Roll20. Like that's how you can play is because of his thing.
You know what they should also do, seeing as how he knows maps so well? Maybe they should put him on as like, someone that can like look over these maps and say, hey, maybe you should do that. Maybe a consultant of sorts.
Are you talking about?
I mean, all you have to do is put a picture of the map online, and people can be like, if it's too broken, everyone immediately is like, no, can't do that.
Yeah.
Did they even have a King's Tomb on the HC maps?
No. You know why?
No. I don't think it's on there yet.
Do you know why?
I can't do it.
Because Clay doesn't have one.
Yeah. I used the HC Realms review of it. They have like a picture of it.
It's funny because I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but I message Howard. I'm like, you should give Clay maps for free. He does a lot for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, it's the cost of shipping and logistics. I'm like, I don't care. You're making a crap load of money off of Roll20.
Yeah.
The Rock Online. Like, you should hook him up.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
A little off topic, but
moving forward.
So we had states this last weekend in California. Aries, yours is coming up this weekend.
Yep.
So we'll talk about what we saw and kind of maybe what you think you'll see, and especially because people will see the results from this last weekend, and they'll tweak some stuff and go change stuff. So we'll start with Tony. Tony played probably the most unique team out of all of us, I think, with his Wakanda theme team.
He just played everything he wanted, Battle Royals in Memphis.
Every pop piece. So Tony, what did you play? How did you do?
So I made top 8 and lost to Richard. Boo. I played Fast Force's Shuri from the Avengers Black Panther set, the Wakanda Fast Force set. The Black Panther from that Fast Force is the Okoye from that Fast Force, Wakandan scientist Everett Ross.
Nice.
And the uncommon Anika. So what the whole premise of the team is my lowest defense on that team is a 19. That's Everett Ross with the 19, Wakanda Scientist with the 19. Anika gives the whole team defend, so I just keep them all clumped up. So base of 18 defend. Then when I'm on my half, Shuri gives the whole team +1 defense. So now my team is a 19 defense. And then in the front, I'll have Black Panther, Okoye, and Shuri since they have reflexes. So now if you're coming in, I'm a 21 defense. And then I still have the Perplex from Shuri and a Perplex from Everett Ross. And then on the offensive end, Black Panther gives my whole team +1 attack, and Okoye gives my whole team +1 damage. And Shuri does a -2 to Perplex to the opponent's defenses. So my Wakandan scientist actually got about 3 kills. She got to I got her 10 attack, 4 damage on the Wakandan scientist. So
Jesus.
I one-shot a Shawn Michaels, perplexed up my damage to 6, had a 12 attack, and crit hit in the match to do 7 damage. So my whole team was doing 5 damage a thing as long as I stay on my half. But in Pauper, everyone's pretty much running the Medusa swarm thing where they're just running across and wanting to fight you anyways. So I said I'll try to combat that and stay on my half and come fight me, and I get +1 to every single stat that I have. And it worked out pretty good. What I lost to was super senses again. In 2 successive turns, Mudman rolled out 4 attacks in back-to-back turns. Ronda Rousey and Macho Man super sensed out of it. He probably hit about 15 rollouts in that game, no bullshit.
That was round 2?
That was round 2. Yeah. And Rich Medina did the same thing to me. Super sense out of stuff. So super sense, man. It doesn't matter if I have precision strike or what.
Nope.
I just need pulse wave. So I wish I could have played my Battle Royale Prison so I could use Asgardian Storm.
I lost to Paul that way. He rolled. I'm going with precision strikes and stuff, and he's just 6. I'm like, all right, cool.
I know all about that.
Yes, you sure do.
Steve, what did you play?
I did Onslaught, Undertaker, Dr. Frankenstein, Mudman, and Proteus.
Yeah.
It was really good. That team is amazing. I only lost to Richard, who went on to win, and every other game lasted less than 10 minutes. It was ridiculous. Because I played a lot. I played 2 full-point Juggernaut, which the Onslaught team, I can just base you with Mudman and move Proteus up, so you can't use your improved movement characters. So you're just locked down with Mudman the whole game. So Juggernaut's just doing nothing but trying to get through 2 rollouts.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And then I played a Nimrod team. The team I like Onslaught. Just if you lose map to the Avengers and the Avengers put you on the Iron Man map, there's nothing Onslaught can do because you go in those little tunnels, and Onslaught can't see you. There's no way you can get to you. So that stuff was frustrating because both times I played Richard, he won map, and both times the first 2 turns he rolled to make the Iron Avengers with Crystal.
Did that to me too.
So that's you're already starting off down because I have Proteus on the team, so if Iron Avenger kills Proteus, now I have to like be aggressive because I'm down on points.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's like +6, right? So
yeah, I'm +4, he's +6.
yeah. So I mean, he has advantage there.
Right. I was just upset because in the top 4 game, I was they messed up the pairings a little bit, and so I rolled an 11 on map, and then I go against Richard, and I rolled a 3, and I was like, crap.
No.
Yeah, we thought we were playing in top 4, and which I would have about 80% chance to win.
Aaron could have a 37% chance of beating me,
and you wasted your 11 rolling against Aaron for map roll.
Yeah.
So he technically beat you in the the grand scheme of things.
Well, no, actually, Steve got third and I got 4th, so there's that.
Yeah,
but my team beats Steve's. I don't know about
in
Richard's.
theory, you could maybe tie me once.
We did this for about an hour, or at least half the finals. We were arguing over who would win our matchup.
Yeah,
and I kept telling Steve, put your team on the map, and he's like, no. I'm like, then I win by forfeit. That's how that works. But yeah, so I played the Enforcers team. I posted on the Facebook page for anybody who didn't see it. I talked about it last episode also. It was Fancy Dan, Ox, Montana, Voyager, Thor, Star Hulk, Starfleet Ensign at 20 points, and then I had the Stark Tower location bonus and Duke Thomas. So Medusa.
Good old Duke.
So basically, Medusa having leadership lets me gain the Avengers keyword with my Enforcers. Voyager can carry my Enforcers and Medusa. Fancy Dan can take a power action to give Ox and Montana a free attack, and then I can like telekinesis out Hulk for a leap climb quake, so I can get 4 attacks off in one turn from like 18. It's between 17 and 19 squares, I think, 17 or 20 squares, something like that, away, which is pretty crazy. And then they're all like 12, 13 attacks too, so it's pretty fun. Yeah, I played a very long first game. A very long first game. So I want to talk about cards. I want to talk about looking at the back of cards.
Jesus, here we go.
So I don't know how this came up in anybody else's games. Next. Yeah, but so I experienced both sides of the coin on Saturday as far as like looking at the back of the cards. So like for a lot of people whose argument, and this isn't my argument. My argument isn't that looking at the back of the cards makes games take longer, so it shouldn't happen. My thing was having to do with now we don't need dials. So my first game, I'm playing an opponent, and he's a relatively inexperienced player, right? I think it's his first big event, And so we're playing, and he's playing the Avenger Swarm, basically, and I'm playing a Swarm. So we essentially end up on his side of the map, and I missed my opening attacks, like almost all of them.
Like you would have against me. That's why I gave you a 37% chance.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, well, that sucks. So then he's like, he doesn't know where to go first on his attacks, right? Because now he's got my whole team essentially on full dial right in front of him. Can I see your card? Sure. So I hand him all my cards. And then it's looking at the card. And it's looking at the card. And I'm not trying to knock the guy. So I won't mention his name or anything. But like he's looking at the card and he's like, what's this? And I'm like, okay. So he makes some attacks, he does some damage. I'm like, okay, fine. That took a while, but all right, whatever. So we have like a little back and my turn comes, and I'm already thinking like I need to play fast because I'm not gonna get that many turns. So I just run through my turn. I knock out his Medusa and I knock out his Retaliators. I'm like, okay, you're pass, right? So then he takes his turn again, looking at the back of the cards, makes some attacks, asking about rules. I'm like, okay, this is cool. And so then he starts hitting some attacks. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna lose this game in my head. And Steve's finished his game in less than 10 minutes. And so he's watching, and I'm watching, I'm looking at, and at one point my opponent goes like this.
He just fell asleep with his eyes open.
and I'm like,
Aaron outright turns to me and goes, "I'm gonna lose," and I just nod. I'm like, "Yep."
See,
and then like woke him up. He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna lose." He's like, "Why do you say that?" And I'm like, "Well, it's been a while and you haven't done anything." I was like, "What's it gonna be?" I'm like, "This guy's pushed. This guy's pushed. You can attack here. You can sidestep there, attack this person. You can attack here. Those are the moves that you have available to you as far as I can see them." And then he decided to shoot at my 0-point bystander and pass his turn. And I was like, okay. So
I'm gonna lose my mind.
We finished the game. We finished the game. Time gets called. I won 220-30. He killed my ox, I believe. Or no, he killed Montana. And then after the game, Steve goes, "He took 2 14-minute turns against you. I timed him." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Cool."
He took up half of the game stage.
28 minutes of the game were 2 of his turns.
Yeah, and I was like seriously, like really trying to make it a point to be patient, and I think I was. I know at some point I started like rocking, like so like maybe that wasn't the most patient, but I had. Okay, so then my next game I play Paul, and Paul's playing Onslaught and some other garbage, and it's Pauper, it's all garbage, right? So he's playing some stuff. Same thing. I go in, I miss my attacks, or he rolls some shape changes and some stuff like that, and then he starts like making his turn. He mind controls some stuff. And he's like, "Hey, can I see your cards?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Or he's like, "Or how many Clix of Life is he?" I'm like, 3, 4, whatever. And he's like, "Okay, cool." And so we start playing the game. It's like, and it was really quick, right? Because now he knows he's gonna make his decisions. He's like, "How many Clix of Life is he?" 4. Okay. Decision made. So like I said, I experienced both sides of it. So I get where people would be frustrated about taking a long time. And it's like, I literally hand you my cards. You hold on to them. I don't need them. I know what my figures do. So it's like, I don't know. It was pretty frustrating. But okay, so that being said, I lost to Paul 50-20. Game was super fun, but nothing happened. we just missed so many attack rolls. It was ridiculous.
All right, so
what are you going to say?
Here's my question, though, to you.
Yes.
Was he slow because of inexperience and maybe he was just very indecisive? Because a lot of people, like, that's understandable, even if he doesn't get to look at the back of your cards.
Yeah, no, that was definitely
played that way.
That was definitely it. Like, so he does his opening turn and then I do mine. And the first thing he says is like, "Oh man, I'm really out of my league here." And I'm like,
that's kind of what I looked at it.
And I'm like, "You're fine, just play. It's just another game, like we're literally playing a game, a kid's game, like basically." So it's like, and I could tell he was nervous going into it. Like I sat down and played, and he's like, "Oh man, I've seen you on Facebook Live playing." I'm like, "Okay." Like I see a lot of bad players play on Facebook Live.
Right.
I mean, I'm not like
you're on the internet. You're a celebrity.
I'm not saying I'm good. I'm saying like that means nothing. Like for anybody who's inexperienced and doesn't go to tournaments because they're afraid of losing or playing against a jerk, like I can assure you, especially at my home venue, that's not going to happen. Like you might lose a game, but it's not going to be because like you're that bad and everybody else is that good, or you're not going to run into any jerks, because I will ask them to leave the store. It's not my store, but they will leave. But yeah,
and that's how you get better anyways. Playing with people who are better, right? Like that's the one way to get better at almost everything that you do in life.
Yes.
Steel sharpens steel.
Like you don't, like kids don't do spelling tests every week because they already know how to spell. Yeah. Right. So like just take that into account. But anyway, so moving on. So I lost to Paul, and then I played against Jose's Undertaker Mankind Onslaught team, in which my team finally did what it was supposed to do and killed Onslaught in my opening turn, and then Undertaker did his choke slam or whatever it is, where everybody on my team took 2 penetrating damage, and then I killed Undertaker.
The tombstone.
The tombstone. And then Mankind stood no chance against my whole team. And then let's see. Round 4 I played Craig Landers, which was a super fun team. He played Eddie Guerrero, who was amazing. I went and bought one after the event because I had to.
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero is sick. It's a good dial.
Yeah, he played Eddie Guerrero, Finn Balor, Undertaker, and Perez Ricard with some IDs and a wrestling ring. I went at Undertaker, and I missed, and he proceeded to mollywop me. I mean, I did kill some stuff, but it was pretty one-sided. And then the last round of Swiss, I played against Robert Gallagher, and it was like basically the winner was going to make top 8. And Robert played both Danger Room constructs, a Hulk, I forget who his taxi was, and then he had like a Sentinel and some other like a Data, the shifting focus Data or whatever, from Star Trek, and he had one other piece that was like 45 points. Anyway,
the Iron Man that can come back.
Iron Man that can come back. That actually can't come back in that format.
Right.
So I won map. We went to my map. I rolled. I got tank right off the bat. Anyway, so yeah, my last game against Robert is he missed a lot of attacks. I landed the ones I needed to land. I won and I got in. Top 8, I rematched Craig. I landed my opening attacks this time and won pretty one-sided in like less than 10 minutes. And then I lost to Nimrod in the top 4 with his ridiculous high rolls. I was like rolling 9s and 10s to hit him, and he's rolling 10s and 11s to evade them. I'm like, all right, fuck me, right? So that was my day. I got 4th, had fun. Saw some pretty cool stuff. A lot of wrestling figures. I severely underestimated the wrestlers. I don't know about the rest of you guys.
My experience with like looking at cards was like very the opposite, just because like it helps make my turns 10 times faster, because I could just be like, for example, like I have Undertaker's outwit, and now I know like if I perplex up damage, like say I outwit Invincible, I perplex up damage, well now he's going to go to Impervious, where if I perplex up attack, he's going to scan Invincible, so my next guy there's still no defense. So it just made my turns way more efficient, and that's why my games like went so quick. It's because I knew exactly what to do with like outwit, perplex, and all that shit.
Yeah, so we do that.
So for me, it makes my turns a lot faster if I like. There's no like guesswork. It's just I know exactly what my turn is going to be now, and it's efficient.
Right, and that makes sense. Like when I played Craig, so like I played against Undertaker before, but I really didn't look at his dial. I was like, I'm just gonna go kill this stuff. But
he's deep.
That's what my team does. It's like I'm just gonna go attack. But like when I played Craig in the top 4, I was like, okay, I really need to approach this intelligently if I want to win. So I'm like, okay, let me see your cards, and I just turned Undertaker's card backwards, and I count out the damage to because he has a stop click, and I want to make sure when I hit that stop click, I hit him exactly to the stop click. So actually, instead of TKing out Hulk to get the opening attack, I TK'd out Duke Thomas and ran him up to a certain spot because he has Empower.
Yeah.
And so then my damage worked out exactly how I wanted it to once I could outwit him. So I have to hit him, do some sidesteps, then outwit him, and then hit him some more. And I have to place my characters to where when he hits the stop click, they're not knocked back, and then I can finish him off.
Right.
Which is what I did. And so, like, to your point, yeah, that is the benefit of having the cards. But like I said, I saw both sides of it.
Yeah, I think what people are talking about on the one side is people who, and now that it's in writing, you're going to see people who are late game going to be like, hey, can I see your cards? It's not so much, the new guy is just overwhelmed because it's first, like you said, first big tournament. and it's deer in the headlights. I had it happen to me in Philadelphia at Worlds 2 years ago, where I sat there in the win-in, and the guy just froze up for like 10 minutes, and I had to finally be like, "What the hell are you trying to accomplish?" So I can help you get through your turn, so I can actually maybe get some attacks in. So I think people are afraid of the latter one, of people abusing it, not so much. It's just in this case, it was too much information. I'm reading the front, I'm looking at the back, I'm looking at the board. Shit, I'm looking at the card, looking at the back. It's just
and then it's like, oh, and I'm also playing somebody who every player knows who this person is.
He plays on Facebook Live.
Well, yeah, it's like he played on Facebook Live.
He's made the big times.
And I'm not, again, I'm not trying to make
on Facebook.
I'm not trying to make fun of the guy, but it's like, that really doesn't mean anything. And if you've noticed, most of the games I played on Facebook Live, I lost. So go back to Majestics. Oh, so it's gonna be that kind of game. Okay.
Here we are.
So for Steve and Tony, a lot of the same question about states. What was the most unique team you saw or played against, or your favorite team? That kind of it's kind of all the same questions, just worded differently.
I don't know. Like the Avengers team that won, like I think going into Pauper, everyone knew that Avengers was like just the best team.
Yeah.
So that was kind of underwhelming, like that, and that was sort of like the thing that like watching the finals, there was no one rooting for the Avengers team to win.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the Avengers team. It's like we all knew that was the best team to play. We just chose not to play it because we wanted to try something different.
The Patriots.
Yeah.
Pauper,
It's the Patriots of Pauper. Sure.
I think the team
Manny
that like
Kinks,
if I
we're talking to you, Manny Kinks. The hell with you and your Patriots.
Yeah, exactly. That Tom Brady pitcher.
If I had to choose a team other than my own that I would have wanted to win, it'd be between Tony's Wakanda team and Aaron, your team, because I thought so I had to mess around with Alpha Strike a lot, and I liked my Green Lantern team. There's another thing that like the reach just wasn't far enough. Like the Green Lantern, because he carries people, like you can only really go 8 squares, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to not do Avengers, but Voyager's obviously the best like taxi in the format. So what you did with like it's not themed, but it's still got all the relevant Alpha Strike people, and there's like synergy there. I liked your team a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite team was my team. Because Black Panther. But no, I really liked Craig's team a lot.
Craig's team is cool.
Yeah.
Like if you have Finn Balor, and Finn is allowed to hit against full point Juggernaut, those games are just over.
Yeah.
Because now Juggernaut doesn't have a defense, and it's just bonkers. Like I really like Finn. We right after the event, I'm like, I want a Finn.
Yeah,
Balor.
we went about 2 wrestling rings. Yeah.
So Finn's good. Craig did a good job with making that team.
Just
my thing is that I think WWE is really good, but like if you have something like Onslaught that can TK something to you, and then it punches you, and then TK that back just to get them off their first clicks. And like my game against Craig wasn't able to make an attack with the WWE guys once because they're just a little bit too slow.
Yeah.
I do think in Modern they have more potential because you'll have like a
reality
TK
gym. You can
like move them up, and now they're ID batteries. But for Pauper, they were like they're manageable. It was a good team, but they were manageable.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're like a 50-50 matchup with like certain Alpha Strike teams like the Avengers and stuff.
Yeah.
Just because like Spider-Man can't outwit them, for example. Like
Right.
Elite ID does not really anything to them. And then, like you can't really shoot them from across the map, which is fine. But then like there's other there's like my thoughts going into the event was WWE's new, it's got a lot of hype. There will be people playing it. So I want to get in your face and make the first attack. And I want to kill whatever I hit. And so that was my thought going into it. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just not going to count on range like at all. And I'm just going to get in your face and go. And I think that in my opinion, I think my team is better than the Avengers team because I think it can do more than the Avengers team in certain aspects, and there's still room to tweak it. The only thing it doesn't have going for it is I don't win map, which once I was like, well, I don't really care if I win map because I'm going to get my bystander, and I don't really need prob because my attacks are absurdly high. So I'm just going to use bolt, and that's another precision striker that does damage.
You never played Richard's team, did you?
No, I didn't, unfortunately. I would like to. The other thing is, I think my team is better in certain matchups than his team is, but I'm not saying like head to head my team's better.
Head to head, yeah.
Because I think his.
I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
So, do you think in a tournament, because in sports, like you're not allowed to do this, but in here, Clix, you apparently are. Do you think you should be able to be allowed to forfeit a Swiss round game so you can manipulate your placement and bracket?
No, I don't think. Okay, I don't think that was the intention behind it.
Regardless of whether that's the 10, that he should have played you, and I should have played Nimrod if he doesn't forfeit that game.
I agree.
What?
So
what am I missing?
So Richard was 4-0 going into the last round.
Okay.
And since all 4 ones are going to make the top 8 because we had enough players to make a top 8, he knows if he loses, he still makes top 8. So he forfeits so he can go get something to eat. And so because of the time constraints of our event, we didn't have a break between Swiss and Top Cut.
Okay.
Because the store was only going to stay open to a certain point of time for us, which we ended up having extra time. But I know our judge and organizer, he was a little worried about going over, so he just made the call to not have a Top Cut, which is fine, or a break between Top Cut, which I think most of us are fine with because we're used to playing longer. So Richard decided he wanted to go get something to eat, and so he forfeited.
Okay.
And so before that happened, I know the judge, he had come and asked me, because normally I run the events at Hobbytown, but I wanted to play this time because it's been a while. And so he asked me what I thought and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, we can't really stop him from forfeiting. And by the rules, the player that he forfeits to will get all of the points. I'm like, I don't really think that's
it affects
right.
the whole seeding of the tournament.
And,
like
and that's
that
what
person gets a full point win.
Yeah, and essentially, like, let's say Richard wins, that person drops to 3-2 and might not make the top cut.
Exactly.
And so I pointed out to him. I'm like, but that being said, it's your call. You're the judge. I'm just a player. I'm not gonna make that decision for you. And I don't think, like, at the same time, I don't think in the rules there's any way to prevent that.
So in sports and stuff, if you forfeit a game in a tournament, you're forfeiting the tournament. Like, if you can't just choose to not play, because then what would happen is genuinely you can figure out everyone's seeding and just figure out, like, okay, I want to be on the side of the bracket with this person and strategically forfeit games.
So what I suggested, and I don't think he wanted to do, was I told him what you could do is you could go to Richard, because here's the thing, Richard made it very clear that's what he was gonna do.
Right.
And I was like, you can tell him you either play or drop before the next round starts. But I don't think he wanted to be that strict.
Yeah.
And I understand why. And to be honest, this isn't even the first time Richard's done that I know.
Right.
So, like, and again, I don't think he's doing it with that purpose. It's pretty self-serving. We've been there. We play 4 rounds, 5 rounds, and he
4
wants
rounds
to
at
get
that time.
Yeah, he wants to get some food. Like, I get it. So
I guess
my thing is, I also was in for sure, and I hadn't had food in 14 hours. What if I also dropped out my game? Then that's another person that makes top 8 that shouldn't have. Because if I threw round 5 game, Randy's into top 8 now.
Yeah.
And so it changes the whole tournament. If the people who are automatically in just drop their remaining games, it changes the whole thing.
So
because now people that didn't end up making it would have made it, and then people that did make it would have been dropped out all because I threw a game. Like it affects the whole structure of the tournament. And so I understand that he's not meaning anything by it. Like he just wanted to get food.
Well, you just win your match quicker.
Yeah, exactly. But if everyone does that, who's automatically in, it changes the entire top 8.
But that actually happens in other games. Like I don't know if you've played Magic or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh. Like that actually is a thing. Like you're allowed to decide to lose. You're allowed to decide if you both agree without any kind of like bargaining. If you say like, hey, you want to draw? We can draw. And then if your opponent's like, yeah, then you draw. And a lot of times that happens.
There's no points involved though.
There is
right,
though,
exactly.
because,
so my thing is
there's tournament points involved.
Okay.
There's tournament points involved. So like a win is like in Pokemon, for example, a win is 3 points, a tie is 1 point, and a loss is 0. So what happens is a lot of times in the last round, it's like, hey, let's ID, and we'll both make top cut. Like that doesn't happen. It's you want to ID, yeah, because we already know how this works. So the opponent generally will know, like if I ID, I'm in. If I lose, I'm out. And so they'll independently decide to draw is what that is. And so they'll just draw their way into top 8 after a certain point. And it's accepted.
Like
it's
accepted. Shady soccer stuff right there.
It's not because there's no bargaining. It's just we know where we're at. Let's just do that.
So that's not the equivalent of a full point win then, right?
No, it's not. But like you could.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Because like, of course, if I tell Randy in the top 5 game, hey, are you okay with me dropping? You'll get full points. Of course, he's gonna say yes. Why would you not say yes to that?
Right.
But like that's the scenario that it currently is, and so that I just feel like that's a really weird like situation for Swiss, because where I was on points in my even in my 3rd round, I was at 900 points. Like I won my first 3 games full points to nothing. I could drop my last 2 games and still have made it. And so that
probably. Yeah,
that's two. No. It was the guy had 700 and something points in 8th place. So I would have moved on.
Paul did, right? Yeah.
Paul did, yeah. So I would have moved on, and I could have thrown 2 games, and then whoever my opponents were, they automatically make top 8 now because they're getting like 3-point wins.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just feel like the whole system, like there needs to be some sort of change where either it's not a full point win or you just can't drop or something.
It should be a buy, if anything, then like a half points or some shit, not full points.
To be honest with you, I don't even think this happened at Worlds in Philadelphia. There was a big controversy about this, where people got to their table, and the people who were supposed to be playing them had dropped. And they were just gone. Like and then this year, playing in, we had David Newmark and somebody else, I think it was, and the guy that was playing David was just like, I'm not going to move anymore. And David was up on points, and so David was like, all right, well, I'm not going to do anything else either. And they could kind of just like, all right. The guy was like, well, I'm just going to call it then. So they went up with like 15 minutes left. And they reported their win like a 25-0 win, and the judge was like, what?" And Chris came over, and Chris was basically like, "There's no stopping HeroClix. Either you drop, or you forfeit and you're done, or like there's no in between."
But again, he still said you can forfeit, which would be a 300-point win.
You forfeit out of the tournament, not that you just forfeit the match.
No, a forfeit is that match. A drop is out of the tournament.
Regardless, I can see both sides to it.
Yeah.
You're
my thoughts,
legitimately you're manipulating a topic.
So my thoughts are, and this is all good discussion because Jason, who was the judge, he actually asked what are some common things that happen at events that can make the events more enjoyable for the players that the TOs may not be thinking about. So this is related to that, which is good. I know, I think to Steve's point, there needs to be some kind of rule about how that works written into the tournament rules. So
absolutely.
Another thing that came up that I'm not aware of a rule for it. It may exist, but is there was a game where a player did not put one of his figures on the board, and then the game ended, and they were like, "Oh, it was like I think it was like 0-0." or like 10-0, something like that. And he's like, oh, I didn't have my figure on the board. And he's like, so the judge is like, well, I think he should lose because now that player didn't have an opportunity to attack that figure.
Right.
I would agree.
And I'm like, okay, but there's not really any kind of rule that supports that.
Yeah.
Like now,
I would absolutely not want to put Proteus on the map because that's easy points. So
right.
I don't think I should be able to just do that.
Yeah, I would say it was a DQ for not fielding your team properly.
Right, and so what I said. So I mean, the ultimate rule is the judge is always right. That's the golden rule of HeroClix, right? So I was like, look, it's your call. My thoughts are, if it was a 0-0 thing, like normally that would be a double loss, but I would say this is a win for the other player under the worst possible condition, and I would say 0-0, but that player wins. The player who, and I think that's what he ended up going with, or ended up not mattering because the player who should have won did win by like 10-0 or something like that. But again, there's no rule for that I'm aware of, and there should be. What happens in this scenario? And these things we only think about them as they come up, right? So now that they're things like
made present, yeah, and to be addressed.
So I think those are good discussions. As far as like making the events more fun, like I think we do a really good job here where I play of the event always being fun. Like Tony, you guys have played at a number of events that I've ran or that have been hosted here, and I don't think we've ever. There's only like one situation I can think of where two players kind of did not have fun, and it was one player has kind of a reputation for, being a jerk. I don't think it's, it's earned, but it's not wholly earned, I'll say. But so like, but for the most part, I only ever get good feedback for the events that we run. Yeah. So I think we do a good job, and all we do is before the event, we just say these are the expectations that we have of you as players. Have fun, don't be a dick. Agree on everything that's happening. If Tony says I have a 10, you're 18, I'm gonna attack, and Steve says okay, yeah, I agree. And then after the fact, Steve's like, oh, but I had combat reflexes. It's like, well, you agreed to the 10 to 18.
Yeah.
I might not have made that attack had I known you had this special off the map combat reflexes. So
which is shitty sometimes because sometimes didn't you forget that one time?
There was a match, whatever the last tournament was at your venue, Aaron, the one that Jesse won when Chip versus Jesse in the finals.
Yeah.
I forgot what event that was for.
That was a regional.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I'm playing Jesse in top 4, and he goes to attack my Thanos, and he goes, "You're a 20 defense." Yeah. All right. I'm gonna perplex you down 2, and he goes, "Okay, 10 on a 16," and he rolls the dice, and I immediately go, "Oh wait, I was an 18, but I agreed on a 16," and I said, "Okay, yeah, dude."
But the rule is right because it just. I mean, it sucks when you forget it, but it is best to do the whole you have to agree upon the values.
I went down 4 from 20 to 16 off of 2 perplexes. Yeah.
But again, there are some instances where that kind of stuff happens. I mean, shit, when I played you in Philadelphia, you were playing Doctor Strange, and on my next turn, I said, okay, before I do anything, I'm going to put a second token on Sam Cap because you have Doctor Strange, and that's going to affect this turn. So we forgot it in that first round. We're gonna fix the problem now. With something like that, you really can't. Like after things are done, you really can't.
But you agree that's the ultimate thing. Now,
yeah. Well, it was also integrity too. Like there might be other people that'd be like,
personal integrity.
So like the thing is too, like for me as a judge, I'm gonna enforce my rule of you guys need to agree on values. But at the same time, if Steve and Tony are playing and Tony attacks Steve and he's like, okay, 10 on 18, yeah. And then Steve goes, oh, shoot, I forgot I have energy shield. And your attack would miss. Well, I know. You guys would say, oh, well.
No, you said I'm playing Steve?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he forgot.
Okay, you're playing me. And I'm like, oh, I have energy shield.
No honor amongst thieves.
And it's like, as long as you guys both agree on the game state, I'm not. But if you guys don't agree, then I'm going to go with, well, what was the last thing you did agree on? If you agree to the numbers, those are the numbers.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts as a judge. But
yeah. No, it works. There haven't been any real big issues.
Yeah.
Everything in Fresno is
I mean,
good.
that's not everything in Fresno is good, but
playing
at the HeroClix. No, that's the thing, man. Is if your judges and your TOs are cool and everybody respects them, man, it's easy, dude. Just having personal integrity, like Aries was saying, everybody should. It's not easy for everybody too, but everybody should, have that kind of integrity.
Yeah. So that being said, with all the Pauper talk, what do you guys think of it as a competitive format?
Yes.
I hate it.
I hate it.
What?
Yeah.
So my thing.
Why?
All right. So you look at the events, all the teams that have won.
Yeah.
There's only fucking 4 different teams that have won these things, and about more than half of the states that have been reported thus far have been Avengers. So you can't actually say it's sure, there's a diverse field in that there's a lot of teams, but the same team keeps winning. And
then the other thing is you can be a shitty player and run Nimrod and throw him to this middle of the map and go, well, I rolled higher than you, I win. I don't need to know any rule. As long as I can roll higher dice than you, I can win the tournament. That's whack, dude.
But
that's not a commentary on Ray, though, right?
No, of course not.
Ray made it to,
we've been saying that since way before.
Because Ray made it to top 4 at the regionals when he was playing the Red Skull.
Our local venue, someone that
I got beat by a super crappy player.
Don't say that. Someone that we've never lost to in 5 years pulls Nimrod and just rolls high, and it's that's just the game. You don't need to know any powers. You don't need to ever make an attack. You just roll higher and you win the game.
Now, is that just Pauper, or can that also happen in the modern?
No,
there's
because
ways around it, and there's more prob,
more pulse wave.
More pulse wave.
For the Nimrod to be able to keep damaging myself, I can just keep pulse waving you to death.
Yeah,
can't do that so much.
I hate Nimrod. I hate the fact that they're Avengers is the highest themed team for this format, and there's no great answer to it. That the teams there are a few teams that beat Avengers over this week,
but they lose everything else.
But then asking people how it went, their Avengers matchups, and they're oh, they got really unlucky, or oh, they never actually were aggressive and did the Alpha Strike, which it's an Alpha Strike team. If they're not being aggressive with it, they're just playing it wrong. So put an Avengers team in a competent player's hands and they just win. I don't love that.
Yeah, I could have played Avengers. Like Steve mentioned earlier, I was looking, I was like, I don't want to play Avengers. I want to play something that I'm gonna have fun playing. I love the Enforcers. I've been wanting to play the Enforcers. I'm gonna play the Enforcers.
And that's it's just there's too many people that have won with it. It's too good of a keyword that it's just the same issue of but last year Medusa's won. Well, this year it's still you can't have
Medusa still won. Medusa still won.
You just replace Medusa with the other Medusa with Crystal.
But is that more a commentary on design or the format?
The format. I don't think Medusa's. I mean, she's really good, but it's not like you see a ton of Medusa teams in Modern doing crazy well. I think it's just she should be a rare, maybe.
My thoughts were, so this is kind of counterproductive to the whole point of Pauper, because the point of Pauper is to make everything accessible, right? But my thoughts were always, if you open it up to the rare slot, you will get a lot more diversity in teams built and won also. Yeah, there's a lot of rares that can just outright win games.
If you open up to rare, you're going to see Astronomer, Trader, Gardener.
That's what I'm playing.
That's fine.
If you open it up to the rare, you have no issue with Avengers now. Now you have an issue with just Gardener, Trader, Astronomer.
Until Shredder runs through you, or a Wendigo runs through you. There's stuff that can win besides that in that rarity.
I think they should open it up to the OP figures, the ones that they give you literally for showing up to the event. They're free figures. They give them to you.
Yeah.
I like that. I wouldn't mind OP LEs, no con exclusives, nothing like that. No WizKids open redials. But like
the
monthly OPs.
But the monthly OP figures, like people, believe it or not, people do have a hard time getting that stuff without like buying it on secondhand market.
To buy a box ring.
What's that?
How much was a boxing ring? He said.
Oh, I'm not talking about the cost. I'm talking about the
$35 for the box for the WWE MSR.
I mean, and the monthly OP figures are what for the whole set? $15.
You can probably find them on eBay or other after sources for like maybe $3 to $5 a figure, depending on the figure. Yeah. There have been some
plus shipping
that are like $8 to $12. But again, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I mean, and then the fact that King is legal. King's Tomb was more expensive than mine and my opponent's team put together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
My team
I think the game
nothing.
element, they should set a cost limit of like whatever website they want, and you can't spend more than $15 on any given game element. Something like that.
Now we're going like straight up like fantasy football. You have X amount of dollars. You have to buy your team. Oh Jesus.
That's how I think it should be.
That's the true Pauper.
So
now we're just,
I don't know.
So basically,
like,
you hate it because it's Avengers heavy.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I don't think
in theory though, you still enjoy the actual premise of Pauper. You just don't like the Avengers
execution of it or whatever you want to. Yeah. I mean, because like for him, it's the Avengers thing. For me, it's the fact that I do like that it opens it up to more people being able to win. I don't like the fact that it requires 0 skill to win when you just use that one figure.
But I mean, people have been playing Unimind for a long time.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah,
I mean, people said the same thing about Unimind, and that's not poking at anybody. That's just saying people said, Goblin King. People said the same thing about Goblin King in the Star Car. You really don't need anything. You just need to just put it there and go to time.
Yeah, that's not true. I suck with that team.
Aaron had trouble with Goblin King.
Paris also at Worlds. Remember?
He didn't qualify with it.
But I've never been a good one-man army player. Like I've never been. Right. That's not my style. No, like that team that team I played on States, that's my style of team. I love it. So my opinion is I tend to like the more limited formats. I like limited previously. No, that's not Hero Clix. That's a totally different game.
Okay, here we go. Just put my.
Am I wrong? Down. If I buy a Hero Clix starter, is the skirmish rules going to be in there?
Eventually,
no,
yes.
They won't. No, they won't.
Eventually,
yes. Let's all punch each other within the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, that's just no strategy.
You can do that in a modern team with Alpha Strike teams. You can literally
do that. You don't have to do that. Skirmish, you have to. There's no hiding.
That's the whole point.
There's no position.
Anyways,
that discussion to me goes all the way back to when they wanted to have the alternate scoring, right? That they try out Gen Con whenever. I was like, they basically said in their article explaining why they're doing that was that they want players to just meet in the middle and roll dice. Right. Like they don't really care about the game. Other than yeah, they don't care, and I don't like that. I'm not a fan. But anyway, so my thoughts as a format, like it's fun. I would hate to see like a world championship for it, to be honest. Like if it's its own Pauper League's cool. Go do Pauper League. At least we know that's what it is. But like as far as like, okay, well, next year's World Championship format is going to be Pauper. Like, no, I don't want to do that. That being said, I don't like Modern either. So
I would after rotation happens, I would like to see what the Pauper landscape has to offer, because certain game elements and certain things are going to go away.
Like what? What that one is leaving Pauper? Hulk? You don't need Hulk.
You're losing Hulk.
You don't need the Hulk.
You're losing objects. You're losing. It's a lot of things. But also, you don't know what you're going to gain though either.
My team. So my Aries, I talked to you and Kenny about a revised team. Version of my team. My team the second team I sent you, after rotation next year, is still Pauper legal and will be modern.
And that's fine. Like you said too, it's not Avengers. It's a alternate to it. It still does an Alpha Strike type like Avengers. No matter what format you have, you're always going to have Alpha Strike.
Yeah,
you're always going to have variations in different.
Yeah, that's a style. That's a style of play. That's not
exactly.
Like
so
not a team. Exactly.
So you're going to lose some things from the Alpha Strike archetype, but you may gain some things. You may gain some counters to it. You may gain other things to it. Like my team that I'm playing, the Gotham City Underworld, if you want to play an Alpha Strike team, I beg you to come over because next turn, I'm going to rip out probably 9 attacks against you. 9 to 10 attacks.
Just kill your whole team when I get there.
Trash.
Probably not going to.
Joker sucks.
What's that?
Fast Force Joker sucks.
No, Fast Force Joker is the truth, bro. You can only deal 2 damage to him. I'm cool with that. Like, you can go ahead and hit him.
That's good. But can he solo when everything else on the team is dead? Can he solo the other team? Probably not.
Meh.
Trash.
So that's kind of what you're looking at, and that's the thing with my team.
When I win Massachusetts, I'll talk to you then.
Okay, so this is what I was talking. This is the whole argument with me and Steve, right? It's like, okay, he's like, you have this % chance to win. I'm like, okay, the way I see it, I have about a 50% chance to win because of Steve's rollouts. If I go across the map and I kill Onslaught, Undertaker cannot beat my team by himself. Or if I go across the map and kill Undertaker, Onslaught can't beat my team by itself.
No, Onslaught is my control team to beat you.
It would beat itself up.
Exactly.
That's why I'm saying, like, my Onslaught rolls shape change 3 times against you, it's game over. And he did. I rolled a 5 3 times. It's over.
in Steve's head, he rolled the 5 3 times in a row.
And again, we're also talking about HeroClix. How many rounds did you say that you went across the map and missed all your rolls or things didn't go your way? So I mean,
my first 2.
In any time, anybody can beat anybody. So it is what it is.
I didn't say that, but I'm just saying, like, to the point is, like, there's certain times where, like, with your team, if somebody can go across the map, because your figures dials are not that long. If they can kill everything but Joker, like, you're gonna have. I'm telling people how to beat you. I'm sorry. If they kill everything,
not going to.
Okay.
I get a +2 from Poison Ivy for each 2 squares of entering terrain.
Okay.
I get Harley Quinn, who can give a +2 to defenses as well for Poison Ivy or Joker. Like, you want to come across and get my Big Tony? Okay, cool.
Sure. Why
15
not?
points for you. You're gonna try and take out my Mudman? Okay, cool. You're gonna have to take some time.
So you're saying you have really high defenses? Is that what's protecting you?
I can.
Absolutely. Don't Thomas teams have like a 13-14 attack?
Yes.
Yeah.
My whole team was 21. My whole team was 21 defense, but 13-14 attacks kind of screw you.
Yeah.
Sucks.
We'll see.
I mean, hell, we'll see. This weekend, we'll see what the results come, right?
We'll see.
Number 1, state champion.
Aries Edge, state champion.
I'd love to see that. I would love to see that.
Shitting on the Patriots.
Do you have the international exchange questions pulled up, Aries?
Oh, of course I don't. Because
the one job you had.
I didn't know I had to have them pulled up, man. I'm getting them right now.
You literally do this every time. Why would today be any different?
Because you blew tires and not me.
That's true.
I got it.
Okay, David Colon, and while you're doing that, he says Quinjet sucks. Thoughts?
It's just not true.
Right.
I mean, Quinjet really
David
sucks.
Colon with the Quinjet how many times now?
Look, Quinjet really sucks in modern because it's not modern legal.
It's also not good Pauper.
Yeah, it's really not good in Pauper. David, you're wrong. I think David's upset because you beat him with the Quinjet how many times? And I know for a long time.
At least 5 times.
Well, look, it's funny because David for a long time played the Quinjet and he was getting really frustrated with not getting the results he wanted, and then he changed his team to Unimind and he won an event. So that right there is just a commentary on, like, your team has to fit your playstyle.
Exactly.
Richard Medina tried Quinjet too, and he couldn't make it into top cut either.
No.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of people that are trying it, and for whatever reason, I'm the only one that's actually just had success with it.
Except versus me.
Couldn't tell you why, but people are struggling with that.
Except versus me. You can't win with it.
Listen, when you do freaking a band ass Mistress Death Book of Skull team, of course.
It wasn't
banned
banned at the time.
It wasn't banned at the time. That thing was the worst, though.
It was.
I
Yeah,
learned something with that game.
it was pretty oppressive.
I was given all the wrong advice against you. Like everyone's like, "Oh, you just gotta move up super aggressively, like carry everyone up, and just go for a split lip." So I carry everyone up, and then you just one shot all the Ultron drones because they're all getting punched for fucking 4 damage quakes, so they all die. And I was like, "Oh, okay, this was fun. Thanks, everyone."
Yeah.
And
by the way, I'm not gonna take the token for that because you had all this shit die.
I was just so upset.
That's pretty funny.
All right, I've got the questions on my end when you need them.
Yeah, you go for it.
Okay, Kenny Pena, if all 4 of you played in a battle royal, who would win?
So my follow-up question is relevant there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Steve's follow-up question: are we each individually trying to win, or is the prizing good enough that Tony and I would subtly team up to ensure we take it home? I think with Tony's extensive knowledge of doing nothing but battle royals over an expansive weekend, I would say that Team 2 Clix from KO are still winning.
No.
Absolutely not.
So I tend to pull really well in battle royales. So like I don't know. I pulled Super Scroll
In a battle royale, we
battle
played
royale.
together, Tony has never lost.
I've never lost a battle royale.
Wow.
If in the battle royale, Tony wins.
Have I ever played you in a battle royale, Tony? Did I play you in Memphis?
I don't think so.
I played with Calder. I played with
No.
Jason Collins.
So WizKids used to have
Yeah,
the 2
remember,
versus
like-
2 battle royale. That'd be a fun.
Would be fun.
That'd be
That would
fun.
That'd be fun.
That's
That'd be-
let me see what I can do.
That was-
Let me put a bug in someone's ear. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's actually a very. I mean, what did we see? Didn't we see? We saw Rock the 2v2. We saw Super Highlander. There's a couple formats out there that are being play tested that I think
yeah.
Yeah.
could be super relevant.
I do really like what Rock Cup was doing with like the 3v3, like was it 3v3 or 2v2 constructed?
2v2.
2v2 constructed. That's cool.
They had that, and they also had the 3v3, which was the Super Highlander, where you only one.
Yeah,
person
no, I
Yeah,
like
the
that a
same
lot.
game elements.
That's
Yeah,
really
that's a good one.
cool.
I think
That's the true 3 versus 3 format.
that's
You know, it's funny because Pat has been running that format at his events for a very long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Like since like 2012, 2013. And then in 2014 they decided to make that the World Championship format, and Majestics pretty much destroyed everyone that they played against. I was like, all right, well, there you go.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that format.
Yeah, I like that format. So I think it's a great format. But
again, anything that limits people, like it makes you have to actually think. Like,
Yeah.
Again, it's very good. Jeff Colossus, who are any of these people?
I'm
no
Tony.
worries.
I'm Tony, and this is Steve. That's
I play on Facebook Live.
I hope Jeff steps in some dog shit tomorrow when he's delivering mail.
Is Jeff someone that we should know? Do I know Jeff?
Jeff Colossus is a New York player out here with me, out by me.
Okay.
Jeff
I
Colossus.
didn't know like who he
No,
was.
no. He's just being facetious. I'm pretty
we
sure.
actually met him at David Newmark's tournament.
Yes.
Jeff's a super cool guy. I
Jeff
like
is
Jeff.
super
I've
chill,
known Jeff
great
for
for
a
the
long time.
community.
Yeah.
Is outstanding. I think he's just breaking your guys.
The
last name?
No.
No,
It's
it's
because
not.
he's built like
Anything I
Colossus.
send to him says Jeff Colossus on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff actually, the last time I went to Worlds, shipped my LEs to me because he had drove his RV there or whatever. I was like, "Can you ship these back to me?" He's like, "Yeah, no problem."
Yeah, Jeff, super low key, amazing for the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
He's awesome. I think he's just joking. I think he's probably more throwing shade towards me
I
Yeah.
would
than
that.
anybody else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But he's still also very mad because he was watching one of my live videos once and he actually did step in dog shit while delivering mail because he works for the postal service.
Well, he didn't fall just walking back into his house on the icy porch, right?
I've done that.
I know.
I used to deliver mail. I had to fight a goat once. There's a lot of long stories. I think that might have been one of the conversations that I was like, oh yeah, tune into a live video and I'll explain me having to fight a goat.
Yeah. But we don't have time for that now.
No, that'll be for another day. Manny Kinks wants to know who is the big spoon.
Well, Tony's the tallest, but I'm the biggest. So it's kind of like it's really going to be awkward between the rest of us. Like I don't.
Just like
You gotta eat Tony first, though.
What's that?
You try to eat me, he said.
Oh no, he's too tall.
Damn,
Aries maybe.
It's not human centipede. It's fine. We'll be here.
So we're standing there to take a picture, and Richard's standing in front of me. He's like, "Aaron's gonna eat me." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Just hammer fist him right on top of the head.
I'm like fat guy jokes are okay, but like be creative. Like Jesus Christ, that's just mean.
And that's when Steve just low key is like, I would say you would do the same, but you dropped in the 5th round to go get food.
Yeah, he's the only one not hungry in the top 8.
I was so fucking hungry. Oh, that was the worst.
It's funny.
That's when you just be that guy. You ever see poker tournaments where there's always that one guy who's eating food while still playing cards, and you're like, dude, you're getting like shit all over the cards.
Yeah,
you're a mess.
Yeah.
I had crumbs. I had crumbs of cookie in my laptop bag that I went to the car and just was eating the crumbs of cookies that I had left over. That was the only.
Here's the really funny thing. It's like there was 3 different times during the event that Jason's wife went to go get food for people,
and she was
like,
yeah,
and she was like, "Does anybody want anything?" Like, and people were like, "No," and then it's like, "Oh, it's round 5. Yeah, I'm gonna drop to go eat." Like, what the fuck?
I mean, I'm gonna blame Steve too, just to the fact. I mean, he even said there's multiple rounds where he was finished after 10 minutes. You still have 35 minutes.
In retrospect, I should have either eaten or taken a nap instead of just watching Aaron get uncomfortable and rocking back and forth
for 28 minutes.
Aaron have a nervous breakdown.
I was cool. I was cool. Hey, I was like Gandhi in that match, dude.
You were.
I was cool.
Okay, who is this? Sonny Birdwell. This is the last question from HIE. Actually, literally one question from Kenny is all that actually.
I got another one.
Do you like Phil Collins? This is the last question.
Absolutely.
Is he
Tarzan? Yes.
That's a good soundtrack. Tarzan's solid.
Did you know that Tarzan is the sister of Elsa from Frozen? Or the brother, I mean? The brother. The
parents, when they got on the ship, they got stranded. Tarzan's the sister.
I know. I fucked that up. But
yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying. You know,
they're siblings. His parents. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I think the Phil Collins was awesome when he was played in American Psycho. Where Batman kills the Joker.
Yep. Let's see. David Colon wants to know about WWE set in Bronze Age. What do you guys think of that? He also says, "What's up, Quidditch boys?" Which that's funny because like you guys retired, but you didn't retire. What the hell's going on with that?
Yeah.
I think there's something there. WWE for Bronze Age, just because they're like the best call-in batteries you can have, basically.
Yeah.
Because they're like mini Lex Luthers. Because Lex
Luthor, they
have
grand entrance out, and then they can just call shit in.
Exactly.
Yeah, Lex Luthor, the whole thing is he can be pulse waved, whereas they just can't be shot at all.
Exactly.
And a majority of like Bronze Age characters are shooting and not punching.
I didn't even think about grand entrances and calling in something.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's really good.
Yep.
Red power battery? Is that in Bronze Age?
So yeah. So
you throw that on Undertaker?
Yeah. So I was gonna say Craig Landers actually played Undertaker, Zombie Super Scroll, Red Battery.
Yeah, we talked about this. Yes.
Yeah, Monster Theme Team. And
so he's got submission hold. He's got a penetrating poison.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ugh. No.
Yeah,
do not put WWE
so it is a thing.
Bronze Age.
I mean, they're Bronze Age. What to tell you?
Yeah.
There's a lot of Bronze Age played out here lately. There's a whole circuit going on that apparently I didn't know anything about.
Cool, you can keep it out there. I don't want that
nonsense. I think they have more value in Bronze Age than they do in Modern Age, just because of Kobik. Because I run Kobik in Modern, and if I play a WWE team, you just gave my Kobik can't be shot and grand entrance on my first turn.
Yeah. I'll just take I'll just take your team, Billy. Thanks.
Yeah.
Like you can have Power Cosmic though. It's cool.
And then after that, I get the grand entrance my Kobik, and then the next turn your WWE guys has Underworld, and now I can outwit you and shoot you, and like they're not good for modern, like because of Kobik exists, like it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But Bronze Age is something there.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. We probably have a million questions from Malcolm Rush to go through. Oh, here we go. Alonzo, he wants to know the most creative team you played against in Bronze Age.
Most unique team in Bronze Age
that you've played against.
I would say they're all damn unique.
Yeah, they're.
I haven't played any because the whole thing about Quinjet is like it doesn't. Like, I haven't played any close games recently.
My team is unique.
So there haven't been any, games that I'm like, oh... Like, the only game that I've lost with the Quinjet in the last 6 tournaments was against that stupid full-point Groot with Mystics team. Because the guy landed 6 shape changes in a row.
Okay, so he played a full-point Groot...
The Star Sapphire battery.
With the Star Sapphire battery and a low-point Groot.
Which is, actually a horrible team.
No, and so what he did was... He made it a cosmic theme team, not a Guardians of the Galaxy theme team. So he used the Guardians of the Galaxy ATA.
So they can't be outwitted, but they still get +1 defense.
And you get the pluses, yeah.
So it's unoutwittable shape change, and he landed it 6 turns in a row
with Mystics and a long dial. So that was kind of cool.
So that was the last time I lost a game, because the only other game that I've ever lost Quinjet was Book of Skull, Mistress Death, which is not legal anymore. So the only time I've ever lost with the Quinjet was against that fucking full-point group with Mystics. So I guess that's the most unique team, I guess, but I don't like that team.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's unique. It means but it was unique.
I think he's searching for a compliment here, and he wants me to shout out, so I will. His Phoenix Force team that he played at the Majestics event and last year in December. It's he calls in Photon. Or Photon's main force, I don't remember, but he basically plays a bunch of brutes, and then he kills the bystander,
so he gets the running shot.
That was really cool.
Yeah,
he gets to that team. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool team. That being said, other teams I played in Bronze Age were creative. A lot of people play the same crap, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I'm disenchanted with it now, but I really liked the Blue Panther with the mirror.
Yes, yeah.
Team. That team is just obnoxious.
I like the Blue Lantern. I've always liked the Blue Lantern.
Yeah.
My Thanosi team was pretty cool, I think.
Yeah. It was good. Thanosi was a thing when he was modern, though, too. Just not a lot of people played him because Orange Battery did what he did better.
I think
because I used
Harley's apartment with the...
Harley's apartment
Invisible Jet
with
is just underplayed just in the game. Like, it's 5 points to make it so if they don't have flight, they're not coming to you.
Yep. So there was a map that it has changes in elevation without any ladder stairs, and they would play Orange Battery or they would play Thanos Eye, and they would just same thing, just run across the map because the starting area was elevation changes, and you can't do anything.
Right. Oh, that's funny.
So he was a thing in modern. So we do have some questions from Malcolm Rush about conventions because he's got Tokyo Comic Con coming up. So I'm just gonna pick a couple things really quick. So best and worst conventions that you guys have been to?
Worlds was the coolest thing that I've done HeroClix wise ever. Just because what's it called?
I think it's just conventions. Period.
Oh. I mean, we've been to Comic-Con. Does that count?
Comic-Con may be the coolest one.
New York and San Diego Comic-Cons. They were both cool.
But was that the best one though?
The best.
I mean, I'm a fan. Origins is a con, right? Origins. I've never had a bad experience.
It's a gaming con, yeah.
Yeah. I like Origins.
I'd say the best one personally would be D23.
Okay.
the Disney convention.
Oh.
Cool.
Because I'm a man who likes to make money, and
And there are battle royals there.
even
there's
better,
collectibles there. There's
a lot
highly
and
sought after collectibles.
a lot of super limited edition collectibles that that we buy and sell for quadruple what we paid for.
Yep.
So D23.
And like the worst. So I'll tell you, the worst convention I've been to is Gen Con. I fucking hate that convention. I'll never go again. It's horrible. And like, my favorite convention was actually WonderCon, but not WonderCon where it's at now. WonderCon used to be in the San Francisco area before it was owned by San Diego Comic-Con company. And it was like you could walk, you'd show up there Friday, stand in line for 10 minutes, pay $35, get your weekend badge for $35, and it had all the stuff it has now, just way less people, and it was more accessible. So that was my favorite. My favorite, the best, period, whatever, kind of same thing.
Mine's a weird one. Mine's going to be one that you guys are going to be like, it doesn't. I went to the Visionary Arts and Tattoo Festival. It's a convention. It's a tattoo convention. It's out here on the East Coast at Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Yeah, that's
it's on a boardwalk. They have a place.
Asbury Park? Is that what it is?
Yep, Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Asbury Park. Okay.
Asbury.
Asbury,
right? Park.
We were hearing like Asbury, like
dingleberries.
Asbury.
Pretty much.
Asbury Park. Okay. It's where Bam Bam Bigelow grew up.
Dingleberry Park, got it.
Oh, got it. Bam
Bam. Where ECW, the actual convention halls where ECW did a lot of their filming for wrestling and stuff like that. The first year we went, we had to get the hell out of there because the Hell's Angels were there. So it's a very rough area in the East Coast. But the boardwalk's amazing. They have a place that has it's all classic pinball machines. And you can buy a $10 wristband, and you can play pinball all day. Food all up and down the boardwalk. The tattoo convention obviously is fun itself. So that's probably one of my favorite conventions that I've been to. Plus, there's a classic place there called the White Pony, and it's a live music venue. And the day we rolled in, we just missed the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then the next day when we were leaving, or the day after we were leaving, Newfound Glory was coming through. So literally, we missed like two huge shows.
I've seen Newfound Glory.
I've seen them now, but like we're talking about like you can go see them at like a big venue, or you can go.
I saw them when I was 16.
300 people and just jam like as many people as you can into it.
That's true.
But that's probably the best. The worst, there's one out here at Mohegan Sun that they just try and do a lot of stuff, and it fails. But the Mohegan Sun just put in a brand new, humongous convention hall, so I think big things are going to come in there.
So he has another question. Most famous person you've met or at a convention? He says his was Ezra Miller.
Who?
Ezra Miller.
You can keep saying the name. Flash. There you go. Thank you. I'm like, you can keep saying it.
DCU Flash, not
yes. It's the new Flash.
Not Arrowverse Flash.
Yes, it's not. Was it Grant Gustafson?
Grant Gustin, yeah.
He plays the CW Flash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alexander Gustafson. Yeah. Let's see.
So it's the most famous person you met at a convention.
Yes. I would say for me, I've met like a lot of famous people at a lot of different places, but
at a convention, I'm not paying any money to see these people.
I'm not going to panels. I'm not doing any of that.
I got an argument with Lou Ferrigno at
me too. That was my story. That's my story
at freaking Wizard World LA.
Did you try taking a picture and he hunted you
down?
Yes. That's what happened to me too.
So he's walking and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Lou?" He's like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Can I get a picture?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "You want a picture? $50." And he points at his booth. Like, bro, you're not at your booth. Like, if you're at your booth, like, cool, I'll pay. but fuck you. I was like, you know what? Fuck you, Lou Ferrigno. And I walked away. And he was like, what'd you say? And I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. I'm not about to get stomped by the Hulk, but
So for me, I was walking by his booth, and I turned and I did one of those like selfies with him in the background.
oh, that's a big no.
Saw me do that, chased after me, and made me delete it from my phone.
So here's the thing.
What?
Smartphones weren't a thing when when I met him.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody had like the shitty flip phone Nokias. So like if you had a camera at all, it was cool.
Yeah, he ran after me.
But
Made me delete it.
Yeah,
no words.
Yeah, he needs that because that's his only source of income. His damn con.
He acts a little still. But...
So I guess the most famous person that we've maybe met at a con like that was
Reality star Steve DiCarlo.
No, John Schneider, the Jonathan Kent.
Oh yeah.
Jonathan Kent.
Yeah.
And from Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
That
was cool.
I guess
I met was it? God, I always mess it. Tommy Morrison, the boxer. Is in Rocky 5.
Oh God.
Yeah. I was in line at one of the food courts at Wizard World a million years ago, and I was like, where do I know this guy from? Because he looked totally different, right? He had like a mohawk, and like he looked like Guy Fieri, basically, like at the time. And I was like, where do I know this guy from? And I was like, excuse me. He's like, yeah. I was like, are you in Rocky? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh my God, that's Tommy Morrison. He was like, yeah.
And you just said probably like the most disrespectful. You don't know him from being a great boxer. You knew him from being in like the shittiest Rocky movie that they ever made. I didn't hear no bell.
Dude, I was like,
fighting in
how
the
old
streets.
when that movie came out? But check it out. The reason he was there, they had just dropped his Rocky 5 toy that he was promoting.
Oh, there you go.
I was gonna say, was he there for like a work release program or something?
Yeah. No. This is at the time he was trying to get going boxing in like Japan and stuff.
Yeah,
because he had already.
They're like, yeah, we don't care if you have AIDS, come box out here.
Yeah. So that's
You're banned everywhere.
But you gotta think, this guy was the heavyweight world champion for boxing. He's probably the most famous person that I've met, like just worldwide. You know
Mine was weird. At a con. Yeah, at a con. Mine was at Wizard World Philadelphia. I'm on an elevator standing next to a guy, and I looked up at him, and he looked at me, and I kind of like shook his hand, dapped him up, and I was like, "What's going on, Virgil? Like, I loved you in the WWF back in the day." And he's like, "Thanks, man, appreciate that." I was like, "I liked it better when you started to actually wrestle and not just holding that $1 Million Man belt." He's like, "You have no idea how pissed that shit used to make me. That's what I was known for, carrying this dude's belt."
Carrying the belt, yeah.
No one remembers an NWO.
I mean, that's a lot easier money than getting your ass kicked every night, though. Like, be real.
Think about it. How great you're carrying around this white man's belt with all this money. He's stuffing $100 bills, and you're just like, damn, dude. And he just kind of was like, you have no idea. And then he walked back over to Kevin Nash and Scott Hall because he was there doing an NWO thing.
That's cool. Let's see here. Have any of you guys ever cosplayed? For me, that's a big no. I know Tony has. Pretty sure Steve has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I cosplaying at?
We're doing Cable and Deadpool, actually.
Yeah, I saw a picture. It was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I could do would be like a Guy Gardner, or like
could be an Oompa Loompa.
Like I could I'd have to put on a lot of bronzer and go as like Taz from like old school like ECW and stuff. Put the towel over my head, like
you could be.
He's like a bearded Mr. Clean.
Split lip.
I could do split lip.
Eitri, you could do one of the Lord of the Rings dwarves.
I'm glad everything is all about dwarfs and midgets. Thanks, guys.
You're short, bro. Man. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
That's good. I could go as Puck.
Yeah, Puck. Yeah,
Puck would be a good one. That'd be fun. You should go as Flex Mentallo.
Flex Mentallo.
You're 5'4". How short are you?
Like 5'4", right?
Man, fuck you. I'm like 5'6", bro. Like David Newmark is shorter than me.
Look, Tony can't tell the difference. He's like 6'5". Like 5'4", 5'6". It's all the same shit to him.
Bro, come on, man. I couldn't ride any roller coasters.
Oh, man.
Shit.
He goes on all the kid rides at the
4'10".
carnival.
Guys make it.
Now that I thought he was bigger. And it's just the name. Now I see him as a Travis. Now that I know he's a 5'2".
All right, we'll wrap it up.
Steve originally seen you as Wilson Fisk in his mind.
Yeah, that's like I know we met in person, but for some reason I always like envisioned you as a big guy. But now you're Travis. You're a little 5'2".
I think if I ever did cosplay, I would do Kingpin. That'd be dope. I'm not that tall, but I'm pretty big. That'd be fun. Sorry,
We're done.
We'll wrap it up.
No,
sorry, Travis. We'll wrap it up. Any conventions you want to go to that you haven't gone to? We'll wrap that up.
Any conventions we want to go to?
Yeah, that you haven't been to.
I've been to majority of them. I feel like all the fucking like the TV stars go to Salt Lake Comic Con. They're always advertising it on Facebook, like all the Arrowverse and the Netflix stars.
But you still gotta pay for it, so
but I would go to Salt Lake Comic Con.
New York Comic Con.
I've been to New York and San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean those are the easy choices. New York Comic Con. I've never been to that one, and I'm over here. San Diego Comic Con. But if you really want to go like out on a limb to one of the ones, what's the one they hold in Vegas? Like the
Gamma?
No, like the porn star one.
Oh.
It's like the
PornCon.
Yeah, the Playboy Award or whatever it is.
They have like the AVN is I think.
There you go.
Awards,
there you go.
AVN Awards. But I don't think that's like the convention. But if anything,
I know what you're talking about.
Would be cool. It would just be. It would make I've been to Las Vegas, and
here's the question.
Do
you take the woman with you or leave her at home?
Oh, 100% with me.
Yeah, you have to.
100% come with me because she's probably having more fun than I am. She's gonna be like, "Yup, this is awesome, Vegas," and we're at the AVNs. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to that one. I'm staying my ass at home.
Bring Juju.
Bring Juju. I got. He's nothing. Like worst parent. Like CPS is knocking on my door tomorrow, guys. Thanks.
Just horrible. You want us to come see my kid's Pokemon collection? Like,
I brought it to you. Here's the binder. Let's see. I don't know. I think like the what's it called? They do the Tokyo Electronics thing where they debut all the new phones.
The
and,
E3 or whatever it is.
It's not E3.
Oh yeah, E3. Yeah. That one's huge.
No, E3 is cool.
Different though.
I'm talking about the one in Japan though.
But E3 is like in another country too, and then they do like that.
No, E3's in LA.
Games, all the new devices.
E3's in LA.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Tokyo Consumer Electronics Expo. That's what it is.
That's just too wordy, man.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'd like to go to that because A, then I get to go to Japan, and B, I like tech stuff. It's cool.
But you might get destroyed by a huge ass lizard. You go to Japan.
I could, or I could eat it.
Constantly under attack by kaiju.
I could, or I could just eat it. I could eat the lizard.
Yeah, exactly.
If you ask Richard.
You might get like talked into like having to fight some guy, and then they all have like the little like things where they just dunk, and next thing you know, you're in the Karate Kid.
Hey, I love that shit, dude.
That's probably my favorite Karate Kid. That was a really good Karate Kid.
I'm talking about like all the karate movies, all that kung fu and all that. I love those fucking movies, dude. You guys may not know that, but I love.
And here we are. I don't know how we
are. Yeah, we're way off topic. We're gonna wrap it up.
Travis is short.
Travis is short.
You want to go to?
Aaron likes kung fu movies, and
he's bringing his kid to the AVN.
Yeah.
Pokemon Christ. Collection and all. Here we go.
In tow.
All
right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, Aries. Good luck at States this weekend. Steve and Tony, what do you guys got? I know Tony's got a winter map coming up, right?
Yeah. So, actually, this weekend we're gonna be going to one of Pat's tournaments.
Okay.
In
Enjoy Games. wherever
Enjoy
that's at.
Games. I'm not sure what it is.
That's Chase's in there, right? Oh no, that's
What's
in
that?
Arizona. It's in Arizona, right?
No. It's about an hour from here.
Oh, okay. My bad.
But before that, I got a basketball game. And then next week we have a win a map.
In
Okay.
Torrance. People should come.
Yeah, in
See you
Torrance.
there, Aries.
Yeah, Aries. See you there.
See you there.
Yeah.
Travis. Travis is going.
Oh yeah, Travis now. Yeah.
Aries is staying at home, but Travis will be there.
I hate you
Yeah.
guys so much. This is why I don't come to the West Coast.
And then
Travis, we can fit on the airplane. Aries is too
You
big.
can put me right in your overhead
put him in the
compartment.
suitcase.
They have booster seats.
That's true.
I think Logan Paul did that with his friend. He put him in his suitcase and carried him
he
on.
did. Yeah, he did.
Now that you mention that, I would love to get you in a boxing ring then. Him and KSI did it.
Yeah.
We'll do
Aries and Tony in a boxing ring.
2
okay.
rounds. Tony is sleeping.
Okay.
Or Aries is gassed and just dying for air.
Hey, it could be that too. But I'm gonna go out swinging real hard.
It's like my Enforcers Alpha Strike team, right? Like you're either gonna win or you're gonna lose, but either way, it's gonna be over quick.
It's gonna be
37% chance.
37% chance.
too many jokes I can go from that, man. Too many.
All right.
Too many jokes.
All right.
Family friendly.
Well, good luck at States. Good luck at Enjoy Games and the Win Map next week. We'll be back to hear about how Aries is or is not the state champion next week.
Spoiler alert, he's not the state champion.
So until then, remember the real fun begins when you're 2 clicks from KO.
Flex.